What's up, Rob? Hello, 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 hello. Good day, sir. Good day to you. Energy is interesting today. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Feeling very more introverted today. Feeling very introverted today. Pip pip cheerio. Hello. Well, hello there. Thank you. Dark and stormy. Moody for a Scorpio. Very introverted indeed. I feel great. I feel good. I'm not in like a bad mood per se. I wouldn't say it's anxiety. I just feel a little bit like, you know, more internal. What are you noticing? What is showing up for you? Check in with yourself. Check in with yourself. Hey, what's going on? I feel like man, a lot of things swirling around. And I have a good topic today. So thank you for being here. Thank you for tapping on that screen. Word, that's what's up, Ashley. It's hard to pay attention to the messages. I wish it showed people's are they doing I wish it showed people's usernames and not their first names, whatever. But yeah, I can't always respond to the messages because when I'm talking with people, when it's one-on-one, I have like a focused thought, and sometimes it's just communication, sometimes it's channeling, and it gets lost in translation if I don't communicate it. So it's challenging to respond to all the comments, all the messages, and all of that. So thank you. I appreciate you understanding that. All right. Changes are going on. Changes are going on. Relationships are changing. Dynamics are changing. Family dynamics are changing. Things are happening in people's jobs. Let me see. Man, I love hanging out with you guys because I'm telling you, I still feel it. I feel like introvert mode. Like, do you hear that rain? Do you hear the rain outside? It is a rainy, cuddly, introverty movie. Can we get a chauffeur? Can we do the voice command activate kind of day? All right. So one of the things that I want to talk about, hopefully you are able to take notes or to get this awareness. Word, I love the rain. Me too. Me too. Weather in the South is like so unpredictable. Such is life though. Hey, Drea, nice to see you. Word, love that rain, love that cozy energy. So what we're talking about today is what you put in to your relationship, to your life, is what you're gonna get out of it. Word, wife just got a promotion. Congratulations to her. Acknowledge her, love that, love that, love that, okay? So, do you get what I'm saying? Take this with you. Take this with you. If you have any relationship issues, if you have any family issues, if you have, if you're unhappy with your job, if you feel like you're not enough, if you feel like you're not doing enough, if you feel like you're not where you want to be, the biggest thing that I've noticed is that a lot of people, because like my thing is always like to look for patterns and to catch the patterns, right? So one of the things that I notice is a lot of people on earth want to have happiness and want to have success. And they want to get to that space where they don't feel what they're feeling anymore. Like you'll see comments sometimes on here where people are like, oh man, I've been alone for so long, and I've been poor for so long, and I've been down for so long. And or people will say, I've already tried to communicate in my relationship. I've already tried to communicate with family. I've already tried. And I know exactly how they're gonna respond. Does that relate? Do you relate to that? Drop an emoji, right? Yes, if I'm talking to you. I'm telling you, you're annoyed with the need to be productive. I got you. So here's the thing, right? Is that the effort that you put into your relationship to making your relationship work, the effort that you put into your happiness, the effort that you take to actually stop and focus. There is no Q&A section. If you have a question, just put it in there. TikTok is inconsistent, just like the trolls. All right. So hey, thank you for that smiley face. Thank you. the effort that you put into what you want, you actually taking time to be aware of your energy, to be aware of your mood, is how your life is going to be. So for example, you know, you've heard me talk about this job before where I was a bathroom attendant, right? Not exactly the most glamorous job. It was just when I was doing that job, before I walked into the club that I was working at in downtown Manhattan, before I walked into that club, right, that I actually would sit and take time, meditate with my eyes open, do some kind of breath work, do some kind of tapping. Like if you have any anxiety, just, oh, you can just tap right there and you can just tap all the way down to your belly button. Even Batman does this. He's like, I've got anxiety. Okay, all right. So because my commitment, ooh, that's a good one. My commitment is that I want to give people the best energy they've ever experienced. Okay. And so if other people, I feel like if other people had that job, and I saw them, I worked with them, I had coworkers. I worked typically, there was a downstairs and an upstairs. The club that I worked at was called the Up and Down. What a coincidence. That the upstairs bathroom was VIP, and sometimes I would work there and sometimes I would work down. And there were other people. There was like a woman who worked the women's bathroom. You know, there was a guy who worked the other bathroom, and me and the guy would trade off, right? And so most of the time when I would talk to people who worked that job, the first thing that they would say after the job is over is, how much money did you make? Right? And I would say enough, because I didn't want to compare my journey to other people's. Right? And so when I would go into the work, when I would go into my job, that here, I'm just gonna, oh God, of course, it's a white guy with facial hair. It's always the white guys with facial hair. Here, Ted, see if you can just sit down and take notes. Daddy's home, okay? By the way, Ted, there's no such thing as an alpha male. There's no alpha males in the animal world, so I'm sorry. Sit down, draw Daddy a picture of how angry you are inside and show him all about what a real man you are, and just take notes and just relax. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, all right, fantastic. So, and by the way, we're, if you haven't already seen it, I posted a video last night. For all of you angry, like Caucasian men from the Caucasus Mountains who think that you're American, we're respecting women, right? Like we're respecting that women create life. We're not telling women what they want anymore, and we're not doing the I'm an alpha male thing anymore. It's just not happening anymore. It's not in style anymore. It's gonna phase out. You're gonna draw people a picture and show people that you're angry and you're a patriot. It's gonna change, and it's gonna be really frustrating, kind of like when you were a kid when you didn't have enough potassium. Okay, thank you. Whew. All right, so I took a lot of effort before I got to work. Hi, how you doing? Check in. Before I got to my job, because I was working from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. Okay, and they really do always have a beard. They always do. They're always. I'm telling you, it's wild to me how the trolls are always from the Caucasus Mountains. It's so fascinating for me. Okay, just I know my roots. I know where I come from. Okay, I know my heritage. Thank you. I love you. All right, let's move forward. So, because I was coming all the way from Coney Island to downtown Manhattan, it was like a 45-minute trip. And when I was in the relationship that I was in, there were some times where things were really good, and there were some times where things were not really good. And we were basically getting out of the relationship. And so it was frustrating for me that I was in the situation that I was in. And I want for you to realize something. If you want better people in your life, if you want better circumstances, no, Jesse, you're good, but you know that doesn't apply to you. You know that doesn't apply to you. You know that doesn't apply to you. And besides, I'm low-key jealous because genetically, like, it's just never gonna happen for me to have a beard. One day I'm gonna have somebody put on a prosthetic beard and I'm gonna be like, every choice I make is the right one. They're like, wow, that is so profound, Nikki Scorpio. I got you, bro. You know that doesn't apply to you. Okay, and I got jokes, man. And plus, like, you know, trolls come into my live stream and they mess with the Scorpio and think that they're getting the sound bowl guy. And I'm not the sound bowl guy. Sound bowls are me. I am the frequencies. It's just, you know, I'm not the one. We are, I'm not the one. Okay, love that. All right, thank you. All right, right. Okay, moving forward. Man, I love this family. Okay, Scorpio's been waiting his whole life. So when I'm living in a rough part of town, when I'm in the projects where people don't make eye contact, where the energy is like keep your head down and stay focused, and you go outside and you have to have a serious face on, you have to have like your mean mug, and you have to just be about your business and put on your headphones and tune out, and people are staring but they don't want to stare and all that different kind of stuff. Fear, right? I have the understanding that the people that I'm going to connect with do not want to see me in a bad mood. Now, I could just be the quiet bathroom attendant guy and just sit there like the other workers were doing. However, I feel like one day scientists are going to discover that there's a gene in your body for hustle. If you have like a strong work ethic, I feel like I have that in my body. Like I have this just hustle, right? And so, no, John, I did not get my original suit. I don't know that I'll ever get it. However, I do have other suits, and I'm going to be able to start wearing those more often. But thank you. Because I do love wearing the suits. It's frustrating when people do what they do, and you know, life moves on and we get better suits, we get better things. When people take our things away, we say, thank goodness, and we get better stuff. We move forward. Thank you, though. That I understood that these people that I'm going to be connecting with are successful people, right? They can spend $1,500 on a table. They can spend $5, $10, $15, $20,000 or more on getting, thank you, like that. My name's Nikki Scorpio and I'm the introvert that speaks up. Oh, hello there again. Someone sent one to me. Yes, absolutely. And I'm gonna be rocking it. It's just where I'm at right now with how the weather is and just everything. It just doesn't make sense aesthetically. But I'm going to. I got you, Dublin. It's all good. A lot of people are struggling. I got you. Just hang tight. Just keep on breathing. Just breathe to get more oxygen in your body and fill up the areas where there is anxiety and stuff like that. And just talk to it. All right. So, no, you're fine. No apologies. Okay, so the people that I was connecting with, they want to be in that environment where they feel happy, where they feel optimistic, where they can be. There's a lot of extroverts in nightclubs and bars and stuff like that. People want to meet people. They want to go out. This is Manhattan, right, that we're talking about. And so there's a certain kind of mood. There's a certain kind of ambiance, right? There's a certain kind of belief system, a certain way of living for people who have, you know, money, who travel, who like to be more extroverted, okay? And for people that are in the entertainment industry and stuff like that, there's a whole different way of thinking, right? It's a different culture, okay? And so what I realized is there's an opportunity by me working at this job. There's an opportunity because I'm connecting with people that can potentially see my energy and help me out. However, if I go up to people while I'm working and I start trying to network with them, that's unprofessional, that's crazy. So I need to lead by example. The reason why those dogs are barking is because our lovely moderator, Garrett, is here, I believe. And so I would get myself into a space of gratitude before I got to work. And I know you've heard me talk about this. I know sometimes they say that we need to hear things like 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 different times. It actually, I believe they say it takes 21 times for the brain to see something over and over again for it to actually start to click to register, okay? And so I want for you to get this, because what I'm saying to you, you might be like, yes, you agree. However, when you get out into the world, that you disconnect with it, okay? And so before I opened the doors going into that job, I had coffee if I needed coffee, if my energy was low. What up? I would do breath work. I would visualize the end goal of where I wanted to go. I would see people liking me. I would see people loving me. I would see people connecting with me. I would see people celebrating me. I would see that. I would get all of that and all of that and all of that. And then I would tell myself, whatever happens today is going to take me to that place that I've seen. And I would just trust that. And I would go set up my stuff at my job, and I would just get there and I would get myself into a space of like, today's an opportunity, today's an opportunity. I would visualize every single person looking at me and being just blown away by my presence. When I was handing people towels, when I was helping them wash their hands, that I would visualize when I was holding that piece of paper that what I was doing was I'd signed a contract and I was giving it back to them and there was money on the table. I was seeing people celebrating me. I was seeing people looking at me and being like, oh, I remember when Nikki Scorpio worked in this bathroom as a bathroom attendant, right? I would visualize all that. I would create opportunities where my mind would start to believe, oh, we're actually successful. People actually love us. It was a gradual process. And the reason why I did it is because if I actually stopped and thought about the frustrations of my relationships and the frustrations of my life and where I was, I would fall right back into an old pattern that I knew too well. Poverty, abandonment, victim. Thank you, Della. It's possible. People definitely tell me they see me in their dreams, and I just make all of that normal and say, okay, cool. But people definitely tell me some really interesting things how I show up in people's dreams. And I'm just like, okay, that's normal, right? And so let's talk about this, Denise. I got you. So if you say that you have so much drama that you can't leave the house, that there's always some kind of an option for you to get out of that energy. There is always a way for you to be able to reinterpret what you are seeing. There is always a way to refocus your mind. There's always a way that you can set your alarm earlier. You can go to bed earlier. You can meditate more. You can go on to YouTube. You can go on to TikTok and type in yoga poses. You can do breath work. You can try different supplements. And if you can't afford that, you have options, is what I'm getting at. And this is my point. And now let's change directions in the conversation. I created an opportunity when I worked as a bathroom attendant that most people would not have been grateful for that job. They would not have been grateful for the place where I was living. They would not have seen it as an opportunity. I'm not a cigarette smoker. I've literally never smoked a filtered cigarette in my life. And the reason why I say that is because my roommates were chain smokers. So if you can imagine every single, and I'm not talking about the musical group. Okay, so imagine basically every single day waking up and the first thing that you do is you smell cigarette smoke, and then you look over and you see a wall with like bars on it, and then you hear like loud music and just a whole different kind of energy that you're in, right? And to be able to be in that energy and to be grateful, and then to go outside where again I'm in the projects, and before that I was in a really nice part of town, really great neighborhood, right? Great location, great price, restaurants and everything all around, easily accessible to walk around and all that. And then I went to this other neighborhood where it was like the polar opposite. Most people would have been frustrated and would have been like, nope, this is a step backwards. And because I did not want to be a victim anymore, I started reprogramming the way that I was thinking. And so my message for you today to take into consideration is if you don't like your relationship, if you don't like your circumstances, if you don't like the people around you, if you don't like your job, if you don't like your boss, if you don't like your coworkers, if you don't like your finances, if you don't like how you're living, if you don't like the fact that other people around you are not matching your energy, how much effort are you putting into reframing and reprogramming and reinterpreting your life and seeing everything as an opportunity? Careful with vaping, Stina, because there's long-term stuff that happens. And we want to see you live a long, healthy life. Vaping has side effects that can turn your lungs, like you can put holes in your lungs. They call it popcorn lung. And there's other stuff. You can actually get seizures too. So just be careful, please. Let's talk about this too. Part of the journey that we're going on. And again, you do whatever, listen, this is for everybody. You do whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do in your life. You have free will. There's some people who disagree with that. I know it to be true. We're still going to learn the lessons that we're meant to learn. However, to a degree, we do have free will. We have the capability to make changes, to accumulate. Don't think that I'm the expert. Nobody knows what they're doing, okay? What I'm saying is the effort that you put into, let's talk about change. Can you be in really shaky, really uncomfortable, really angry, really frustrating energy and be in gratitude and do more work to get yourself out of there? Because who got you into that space, right? When we take responsibility, it's powerful. When we remove other people from the equation, that's how we get different circumstances. How did I reframe my thinking? Good question. I just started to slow all the way down, and I would notice how much I would put myself down. I've talked about this before. Most people do the law of attraction thing and think that that's going to work, and the brain's like, that's not real. And every single time that my brain would go to the place of that's not real, then I would visualize other people looking at me. I would just create other characters. I would just make them up. Like when you were a kid, how you had invisible friends. I would just make up characters. I would see my family. I would see friends. I would see acquaintances congratulating me, celebrating me, tagging me, you know? I started to realize the way that I got to the place that I was at is because I chose everything. And I want for you to take a look at your relationship, take a look at your perspective, take a look at your job, take a look at your life or lack thereof, whatever's going on in your life, and understand that you got yourself to that place. You got yourself to that position. You chose it every single step of the way. You could have done more effort. You could have put in more effort. You could have done more research. You could have communicated differently, right? And then just get to the space of, okay, now that I have that awareness, I'm going to keep that awareness, and moving forward, I'm going to start to be more aware and to sit down with myself and think like, have I been here before? Have I done this before? What in the world? All right, we're just going to mute you. Random conversations. Okay. Thank you, Cody. I appreciate you. What I'm talking about is if you don't like your circumstances, we pull ourselves out of it and we start to interpret it as an opportunity. And we start to realize you are selling, like somebody said that they can't go outside. They all they do is they go to work and they go home and there's drama and there's stuff like that. I get it. I understand that it's frustrating that other people think differently than you do. The question is, how much effort can you put into your gratitude, and how much can you focus on gratitude in the face of adversity when other people don't think how you think? It is raining. It's definitely raining outside. Yeah, I woke up today to the sound of rain. I love it. That's why an introvert is inside right now. Do you get what I'm saying? What's up, Tracy? Nice to see you. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? We are codependency state of mind in the world that, please help me. Please help me. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I need somebody else to help me. I need somebody else to show me. I need somebody else to do it for me. And it's up to us to be optimistic, to know how we work. I know how I work. I know that there's times where I get disorganized. I own that though. And that's why I do better having an assistant. I've learned this. I'm working so that I can pay somebody to help me. I'm working so that I can have a team around me. I'm working so that I can outsource other things. I'm not going to be left behind. I'm not going to be a victim in this lifetime. It's about getting to the place and understanding that we've been doing this for years. We've been doing this for a while. Any advice on getting over a breakup? Yeah, absolutely. Take time to cry. Take time to be frustrated. Take time to actually process your emotions. Do things like breath work. Do things like, meditation. Do things like going on walks and reflecting and journaling, or just being aware of where your mind goes to. Honor the process. Do something with that sadness. Do something with that frustration. See the belief systems. Take note of what your belief systems are. Take note of where your mind goes to. Because if your mind is going to, oh no, I'm all alone, is it sad that you're all alone? Or is it exciting? Because again, the reason why you're frustrated is because you don't have faith. Because, hold on one second, just stay with me with this conversation. What I mean by that, because I know some of you get triggered by the word faith because you've grown up in homes where they say this and they say that, and you connect it to religion. Hold on one second. What I'm saying is, if the creator came down right now and had a conversation with you and told you why things were happening, wouldn't it make sense? Like, oh, that actually makes sense. That's what I do. When I don't know what's going on in my life, I just have this visual where I see God coming down and being like, Nikki, yes. I talk like Mickey Mouse. I don't know. Okay. This is why everything's happening. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Like when I was working that job as a bathroom attendant, for me, my state of mind was I just visualized, I saw an angel or I saw somebody telling me, hey, we've been watching you. We love your work ethic. We love your perspective. Work like you own that company and keep going and don't complain and show people the light that you possess inside and you'll get all the blessings and be in more gratitude when it gets harder. The harder it gets, the more gratitude you show. And I'm like, challenge it, accept it. Right? What I'm talking to you about right now, this conversation with this is emotional intelligence. This is you understanding there's more than one way to perceive your life. And I want for you to see while you're listening to me, if you are selling me or selling yourself on an idea of what he's talking about doesn't apply to us because our life is hard and he doesn't understand us. Is that showing up for you? Or when I'm talking, are you checking out of the conversation? But you know deep down inside that this would actually benefit you, but your brain is completely and totally tuning out of this because there's other stuff going on and you're distracting yourself. Or are you taking notes because you're like, I am not going to be stuck in this pattern anymore. I'm fine whatever you do. What I'm saying is, however much energy you put into what your intention is, that's the result you're going to get. I'm successful in my mind. I'm successful in my life because I was doing this when I didn't want to. So I can be around whatever kind of circumstances, rich, poor, up, down, in, out, left, right, whatever, and still be in gratitude and still find an opportunity. Because I've been in so many different circumstances around millionaires, billionaires, poverty, middle class, middle America, West Coast, East Coast, overseas, right? I've seen many different sides of humanity. I got you, Katie. You ruminate and can't get out of your head, so you think you make things worse. Well, Denise, check this out. Talk to that voice that puts you down. The voice that's inside of you isn't you. It's just another voice. Ask yourself right now, this is an exercise I like to do sometimes. Ask yourself why you're so successful and see what pops up. Right away. Don't overthink it. What's the very first thing that pops up? Or another question could be, why is it so easy for you to make friends? And drop a comment. Let me know. What do you get? Thank you, Sherry. What I'm talking about, what I teach, what I coach people in is emotional intelligence, which is just being logical and factual and being able to perceive your emotions and your feelings from a different angle that still resonates true to who we are. I want to see if you're able to get out of the programming that your life is hard and your life is difficult. Because a lot of us just are constantly walking around saying my life is hard, my life is difficult, nobody understands me. Yeah, I believe in the law of assumption. You can call it that. I just, for me, like, I realize that there's more than one way to perceive things. Like, you could see somebody who lives in poverty, who lives with somebody else who lives in poverty, and that person can get out of poverty and that other person can stay stuck. I have family members, like my brother that I grew up with. Like, I love him. I care about him. He's very, very, very drama-free, no confrontation. Like, he's still stuck in this way of thinking. And when I talk with him, it's impossible to have a conversation with him almost. And my sister-in-law, his wife, when I've talked with her, I get this thing of like, oh, you think you're better than other people, right? And they're living in a way that's like challenging, and they're living in poverty. And every single time that I talk to them or I get updates from the family, it's something else is going wrong, something else is breaking. There's another bill. Life is hard. Life is difficult. And I'm like, you're literally doing nothing to change it. And again, I was talking with somebody yesterday about this. If you're in a relationship that's failing, or if you want more love in your relationship, if your partner is driving you crazy, it's on you to do the work for yourself. It is on you to communicate. It doesn't matter if they drive you crazy. It is on you. And sometimes it means just rising to the occasion and getting the truth so you can have the truth so you can move forward. And most people don't want to do that. Most people just want to validate that life is hard and nobody understands them and they're not good enough. And there they go again, being separated and divorced. And there they go again, being alone and abandoned, and nobody likes them and nobody wants them. And it's like, that's just not the case. It's just something happens and there's a result because of that. Something happens and there's a result because of that. Yes, I agree, Tiger Lily. If it's abusive, then you have to leave. Sometimes you can't change. Sometimes you can't change people. What I would say, what I would add to that too at the same time, what I would say is, if you're in a relationship that has that abuse, that this is why doing this, rising to the occasion and communicating and making an extra effort and really putting in that effort in that relationship can be really powerful, because you'll see if you get the truth or if you get more of the fear and more of the chaos. My question is, can you sit down in your relationship and sit down with your family and sit down with the people around you to be like, hey, like, I want to think differently. I want to communicate differently with you. We argue and I love you and I care about you and I do not want to do this anymore. I'm wiped out. I'm exhausted. Love that, Madison. I'm telling you, are you capable of committing to your relationship, or committing to your happiness, or committing to bringing your family together, or committed to making your life more optimistic? It requires effort. And then here's the thing, it doesn't feel like effort anymore. The only reason, why do you think that it feels like effort? Drop a comment, let me know. Why do you think that it feels like an effort to fix relationships, to have communication in your life, to be able to like get a job where you actually feel like you're getting paid what you're worth? Why does it feel like an effort? Because it feels unequal, because it is out of your comfort zone. I want to see if I can get the answer I'm looking for. Thank you for the share, Allison. Starts with a T and ends with Rama. What is this little thing on my shirt? That's a little thingy thing. Trauma. Yep. Trauma. Trauma. Mom and dad taught you how to love. How's their relationship? Society taught you how to live and how to communicate. How was society? The movies taught you that Prince Charming comes in and saves the day. Society says that men provide and men are the provider, and that women are nurturing, but women are told to be strong by their moms in a certain way. And society tells women to be nurturing, but women have to be strong because men are cornballs and creeps and weirdos. But then like women are supposed to be soft and gentle in a world that attacks and puts women down. It's crazy how hard they are trying to completely and totally gaslight women in the world that we live in. It's bonkers. Okay, got you, Heather. So Heather said that your dad tried to drown you. So that's trauma. So that's what the inner work is. That's what the shadow work is being able to go back to those moments and think right now in this moment, to think like, what's one possible effect that would happen when somebody who created me, who I loved, that I wanted love from, tried to hurt me? What's one possible belief that I have in my life? I can't trust people. People are not trustworthy. People hurt me. And this is what's challenging about being a human, is that your brain goes, I love that person. I want validation from that person. So we keep on getting other people in our life that validate that belief system, because that's what we think love is. Hey, thank you, Tammy. Thank you. Thank you. This is where mapping out, this is where taking notes, this is where sitting down with yourself and saying, I don't like the way that my life is. What are possible reasons why I think this way?